and welcome to another hour of Free Agency Frenzy presented by Nike here on NFL Network. And we're hanging out at NFL Films in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. I'm Will Sullivan. Of course, it's been a wild week, and moves are still being made, and we'll get you up to speed on everything that's happening around the league. And along for the ride, my three buddies, Judy Batista, Sean O'Hara, Kim Jones.
We'll see how it goes.
Wow, really? That's how little I've meant to you.
We'll see if you deliver on air what you've been doing during commercial break.
Oh,
that will determine this.
Don't put that evil on the people.
He's bebopping, he's dancing, he's doing tricks.
I'm just glad that we are the first ones to do a 4-box. I am very proud of that we are trailblazers in that sense.
Are we?
No, of course not.
No, we're not.
No, come on, Kim. So let's begin with the GOAT. This man has agreed to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And according to our NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, the deal will be for roughly $30 million a year. We're still waiting for it to become official. Hello, English, Will. But all signs point to this man playing in Tampa next season. I don't know if you noticed what I did there. Did not mention the name. So I'm going to try to challenge myself, but you know who I'm talking about. But that's not the only news happening around the NFL as we welcome in our guys, Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Mike Garafolo, the three wise men, and they have lots of information for you. And Tom, let's start with you. And what's the latest with Lions cornerback Darius Slay?
Well, the Lions completed a deal yesterday with another cornerback, Desmond Trufant, who signs a 2-year, $21 million deal that includes $14 million guaranteed. Trufant officially released by the Falcons, a move that had been planned throughout the week. That would seem to clear the way now for the Lions to execute their long-anticipated trade of cornerback Darius Slay, who pointed out himself on social media that he hopes this now speeds things up a bit. You heard from Ian at the top of the show that the Lions have been in talks with the Eagles, who would need to complete a contract extension with Slay that would make him one of the highest-paid cornerbacks in the NFL before that deal can be complete. Eagles certainly have a need in their secondary. Meanwhile, the Lions are completely making over their secondary. Trufant in, Slay likely out. They also traded for Duron Harmon, and this morning finalizing a deal with former Viking safety Jaron Kearse for 1 year and $2.75 million as well. Will.
Big play, Slay there in Philly. Ian, Andrew Whitworth is returning to the Rams. What do we know about his deal?
Yeah, and he got a big deal, especially for a 38-year-old left tackle, the ageless Andrew Whitworth. It was really not a surprise that he's headed back to the Rams. His options were retirement or play only for the Rams, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He gets a 3-year deal worth $30 million. He can get up to $37.5 million. It's actually the largest contract for a 35-plus-year-old non-quarterback in NFL history. There's a couple interesting quirks for this contract. First of all, he gets $12.5 million fully guaranteed, which means $2.5 million fully guaranteed comes not this year, but next year. So whether he plays or not, he still gets more than $2 million. Plus, because the Rams are weird and quirky, he also gets a $77 option bonus. Not $77,000, not $7,700, $77 because that's his jersey number because the Rams are weird.
$77? That's just random. What? That's out of nowhere, Ian.
That's the Rams like their weird, strange bonuses. I mean, look at all their rookie contracts.
Palindromes. They like numerical significance.
Yeah,
they do this.
Right, exactly.
All I know is I feel like Tony Pastores and Kevin Demoff are bored, and this is what they do to entertain themselves.
Oh, you got to occupy your time. Everybody is going stir crazy right now. Jeezy, Jadeveon Clowney is still on the market. Where do we stand on him and his market?
Kind of where we were, yesterday when we were talking about this, which is that Seahawks offer that's out there, which seems to be shy of $20 million per season, might be the best that he's going to wind up doing here. It's not going to be Khalil Mack, Aaron Donald type money. Now, what does Clowney want to do? Does he want to maybe go back to the 1-year deal route and take a step back from the multi-year extension negotiations or contract negotiations and say, let me reset my value? Let me go through a year where I don't have a core muscle issue, which is a long-term concern, I'm told. It's not just a short-term thing for a guy that has been banged up since he's been in this league. So it's really probably all on Clowney right now because there would be interest elsewhere, but I gather it's going to be at that same number. Nobody all of a sudden is going to say, all right, here we come, $20 million plus coming your way. Maybe if I'm him, I push for give me as much money up front so we can say, hey, it gets close to or gets to that $20 million average over the first couple of years. But the notion that he's going to get one of these blockbuster deals seems to have been busted quickly.
You know what, Jeezy, though? Whatever deal that he gets, can he just add $90 to it? Maybe.
If it's with the Rams, they'll probably do it for him.
Yes,
I don't think they can afford him.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. As always, we'll be checking back periodically with you and looking at the top free agents available according to NFL.com. Jadeveon Clowney tops that list over Jameis Winston, Von Bell, Melvin Gordon, Robbie Anderson, and Everson Griffin, too. We have not brought up his name, but we have been bringing up Clowney's name a lot because we thought he would be off the board quickly. And Judy, it just seems that his market is just too rich for people at this point in time and perhaps unrealistic from his perspective.
Yeah, I think Mike laid it out pretty well. It doesn't sound like anybody is going to reach the number that Seattle has out there. Nobody's going to pass it, that's for sure. So now it's going to be up to Jadeveon Clowney to make a decision. Maybe he does it on a one-year deal and says, all right, let me take another shot at it next year. Seattle may be the best spot for him anyway because they have the best medical information on him because he was just there. Don't forget, we are operating in this environment where you can't examine a player. Your own doctor can't examine the player. I would think with Jadeveon Clowney's long injury history, it's unfortunate, but that's a big part of his resume, that no team is going to offer him the kind of blockbuster deal he was hoping for until they can examine him themselves. So that part of the market has died for now, and that's what he's facing now. Again, perhaps it's a one-year deal, and then he takes another crack at it next year when hopefully everything's back to normal.
And that injury history is a concern there, Kim.
Yeah, and part of me just wants to replay what Judy just said because
Sure,
that was the perfect answer about Jadeveon Clowney. Can I also do this just for a second?
Oh,
I
Kim.
think
Kim.
I know
Here we go.
we're all in this together. We all are in this together. How about Ian, Mike, and Tom? They are on the air constantly. I go back to my hotel room. I get to put my feet up. I get to do whatever I want to do in terms of talking to WFAN yesterday or whatever the case might be. They're on the air time after time. They're doing a really great job.
They all appear to be wearing the same suit today, too.
Well, there you go. They've really, become
like a boy
almost
band.
one. But they're really, really terrific work by our insiders. And
Absolutely.
I love every time they're on because they give us tons of... There we go.
Yes.
There are the three wise men.
They're completely ignoring me and us. Mike's getting 5 seconds of sleep. He gets to get a day with Carmen in the house. Look at Ian looks
This is fantastic. No, but it's just like, you see like those, they're like bosses over there. It's like, yeah, look at me right now. It's like, you see those guys, they're like Ice Cube, you know?
Do it, do it, Will, do it.
Today was a good day, right? I don't know how we just went off the
Ice Cube reference.
Judy gave such a good answer that I couldn't follow it. That's what happened.
Well, no core muscle injuries amongst the three of them, but we do know that Clowney has it. See?
What a
Trying to
segue.
Bring it all back. Shy.
Incredible.
Lifeline, baby. Get me through. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. What in the world? I mean, we went from Clowney to clowning around. Listen, I'll say this. Jadeveon Clowney, everybody is talking about one of the best pass rushers out there. And I'll just say this, if you're Clowney, why rush? What's the rush for him? He's already got a great offer from Seattle. Now he has a chance to shop it around. I definitely think there's something to this whole, look, we're not going to sign him yet until we can figure out his medicals. That's going to take a long time because he has had a lot of injuries. But I think for Clowney, look, he's in the driver's seat right now. And there's nothing wrong with taking your time right now. There's no rush. There's no offseason program to jump into. I think Seattle would probably be a great fit for him to come back to. But listen, there are offensive tackles right now that are begging and hoping that he does not come into their division. Keep him in the NFC West. All the other tackles and offensive linemen and tight ends, they don't want to have to block this guy. Forget about the pass rush. This guy will wreck your run game. You want to try to run at him? Guess what? He's going to beat your blockers. It's a tackle for loss. You can't run away from him because he's so fast. He can run down the line. He's going to beat your tight end across his face on the backside cutoff block. So Clowney, he is a game changer. He's a disruptor. Nobody wants to block him. Nobody wants to try to game plan for him. So I think for the rest of the league, keep him out there in Seattle. We don't want to have to deal with him. And they're hoping that he signs back with them.
Yeah, but Sean, back in your time, though, you would have been able to handle Clowney.
I would have cut him.
Right? You know?
Protect yourself, homeboy.
See, but if you are an offensive lineman, how do you game plan for a guy like that? I mean, is just double teams the whole time? I mean,
yeah,
you got to scheme for him.
You want to attack him, try to double team him. Obviously, you want to get him out in space. That's the big thing. So, you're telling your quarterback when you break the huddle, get the ball out.
And a lot of prayer as well. That also usually does the trick.
Living on a prayer. You going JBJ on?
There we go.
I feel
Hey,
you.
Bon Jovi, we're in New Jersey. Come on, that's what it's all about.
On a steel horse you ride.
I'm a cowboy. So, Jameis needs a new job. He's not a cowboy. Cam needs a gig, too. What's next for these two? And will they be starting somewhere in 2020 when we come back on Free Agency Frenzy presented by Nike?